This was built in 1923. Wow, that is cray. Also the art gallery where we're coming from. One of the first buildings in Bulawayo. In Bulawayo, baby.
Now as you turn into Fazak, the heart of Bulawayo, a statue of Joshua Mqabuko Wanyongolo Nkomo stands tall. It is a statue of cultural significance for the Ndebele residents and citizens. Many come from far afield, as far as Europe and other parts of the world, to pay homage to the great stalwart that Joshua Mqabuko Wanyongolo was.
Also, as you carry on, you see one of the newer buildings, Bulawayo Center. So it's a mixture of old architecture.
So the east basically is placid actually but is what to each Saturday.
Grand Hotel.
Yeah, Grand Hotel. Red gold. They're unique. The bank stones are as unique. These stones are unique. And then the stones here are unique.
So as you turn, you see the magnificent post office, and right down this road, you actually right ahead have the High Court. This is where your Chief Justice was coming through back in the day. It is quite a spectacle, to be honest. Bulawayo, as some would call it, has really wide streets, as you can see. Even the turning radius, you've got enough space to turn in this city. The city has got a lot of history. What a beautiful city this is. You can see the masonry as well in terms of the finishes. As you turn into 4th Street, you can see the masonry on your right being the post office. And right to our left is actually Trade Gold now. This is where Mr. Sarah Roberts would have been. An amazing pillars. You can see these pillars of Athens, as some would call them. But really beautiful. And now if you're carrying on with this street right on 4th Street, we're gonna turn into Leopold Takawira. That is another street, and as you're facing now the direction that takes you to South Africa, back to South Africa in terms of Beitbridge, the Beitbridge border post, the one that's so famous, you'll start to see some of the buildings of importance. Obviously is the National Gallery in Bulawayo. You can see it on your left. Really amazing architecture that was done in this place. Beautiful buildings, and you can see some of the places that were really close to TM Hyper at the time. And the streets are really wide. I think for me that's what having grown up here always used to spark and give me all of that attention when I look at the streets and how wide they are. You know, if you travel to other places, you will never really see streets that are this wide. So some would say and liken these streets to some of the streets that are old in Rome. I'm not too sure. Maybe in the comments you can explain to us. On the right, that is the Barclays Bank. As you can see, Barclays Premier League, one of the really buildings that has got a lot of value, sentimental value in Bulawayo. And further upfield to your right is the Bulawayo City Hall. listen, when we grew up, when I was growing up in the city, this is a place that was a place that held so much sentimental value, because I actually used to take taxis, actually, believe it or not, from this place. And really a place that I really hold close to my heart. So, but it is a main space of attraction. Really nice, lovely building in that space of Bulawayo, and we're approaching Selborne Hotel, which will be on our left, and one of those hotels that a lot of people would come and sleep if you're coming in as a tourist. But that's the city hall that we're showing for now. Really one of those buildings that I think in the olden days you would come out here and be able to then be in the heart of Bulawayo. A lot of marketplace trading used to happen in this place, and we've just gone past the Bulawayo Selborne Hotel. We're also approaching a place called Gray's Inn on the left. You can see Cape to Cairo. This was Cecil Jones Road's dream, to go from Cape to Cairo. That's the tower block that we're showing now. But yeah, he was planning to move from Cape to Cairo. The building actually said 3,500 miles. The idea was to leave from here right through, from Cape Town right through Zimbabwe all the way to the north, Cairo, which is Egypt. We have joined the main arterial between Bulawayo and Harare, modern day Salisbury. On our way, you can see that this is a major arterial, it's a major road. There is a new drive-through that you can see on the left here, Chicken Inn as they call it in Zimbabwe. And this road leads you to the current suburbs. On your left is Pardonest, quite a well-known area, and as you're driving, as you can imagine, on your right and your left will be different suburbs in Bulawayo. This road is a connector once again between Bulawayo and Harare. To your right and where we are approaching is what would have been called the old Kumalo area. We are driving through an area called Romney Park. And as we go over the sort of bridge area, we are going to enter an area called Queen's Park. So Queen's Park is split into two areas, distinct areas. On my left would be Queen's Park West in the direction of the airport. And then to my right would be Queen's Park East. Now you can imagine that this area is very much well known for queens and kings. So this is an area that holds so much history. It is of significance and cultural significance for the Ndebele people. The west, as I said, to my left, Queen's Park West, and Queen's Park East to your right. Back in the day, as you would know, Mzilikazi came from KwaZulu-Natal, running away from Shaka. I'm sure we all know of that story, and well know of that story as we've been watching Shaka Ilembe lately. And for those that had the opportunity to watch Henry Kele in the previous Shaka episodes, the idea is that Mzilikazi then beget Lobengula. He had a son by the name Lobengula who ultimately became a king, and Lobengula at the time sort of came and settled in this area. So Mzilikazi left olden day South Africa to Zimbabwe at the time, and settled around the areas of Bulawayo, KwaBulawayo. And the significance of that is that as you leave the area, and why I'm telling you this story is that as you leave Queen's Park West and Queen's Park East, you start to go towards areas such as Kingsdale and Queensdale. This is where for the Kingsdale, a dale for a king, which is sort of like an area where the king was sort of surrounded, an area of refuge, sort of. That is the place where the Kingsdale was. So the people that lived in this area at the time, you can understand they were very close to the monarch. So this area that we're entering now is of cultural significance, as well as a monumental value of sentiment for the Ndebele people, because this is where King Lobengula would have been with his different armies. You would know that there was the Imbizo army, from what we have been taught as we were growing up, and there was the Intsiga army that was also in that time and in that area. The infantry army, those that held a guard of honor, Intsuga army, and then there is the Imbizo, which was his brigade, the main army at the time. So this area is very much of cultural significance, as I said as well. Kingsdale is where the king was, and Queensdale is where the queen was. And as you are driving in this area, you are starting to approach what we would call the main airport road, which would be the periphery and will help separate the areas between Bulawayo, because Bulawayo is actually sort of looked at upon as an area that is in the Matabeleland province. So in Zimbabwe, you have Manicaland province, you have Matabeleland, you have Mashonaland, you have Manicaland West, all these different provinces. And one of the provinces that is of significance is the Matabeleland province. As you know, Mashonaland holds where Harare is, which is of major significance. And the road that we're in now, this river is called Umkuza River that we are going over, that separates Bulawayo from Umkuza district, which is a rural district. I think you can see the police as we approach. In Zimbabwe, you do get police that have roadblocks. So let's see if they're gonna stop us or not. Usually if they do stop you, they either just look for your license. But in this instance, when we were traveling, I don't think they stopped. Yes, they just checked for everything. And yeah, so we carry on, and we're gonna turn right now into Hopeville, Dale, those areas, but this is the new Hopeville area. If you are coming into Bulawayo as a tourist and you want to invest in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, this is the area that's up and coming. Remember, we're now sort of just crossed that river, so we are in the Umkuza district now. We've left Bulawayo, so that if we carry on with where the police were, we would be carrying on to the airport, back onto our way to South Africa. Not by road though, that's by air. If you remember, the other Cape to Cairo road was sending us directly to Bight Bridge, which is by road. So you can access the port of entry in Zimbabwe through the Bight Bridge border post, or you can fly out from Joshua Mqabu International Airport. So you can imagine again that stalwart's name comes up again, Joshua Mqabu Lonkomo, such an important figure for Bulawayo and its residents and its citizens. Now, in terms of Hopeville, an upcoming area, as I said, it is one of those where modern stands are being built in this sort of some sectional title, but most on a full title basis. One of the things that you would come to appreciate about Bulawayo is there is a lot of land space. As you can see, the houses are quite modern. The finish is also on the inside, which on another video we will be sharing with you. That's one of the entrances into one of the Hopeville areas. And where we are staying will be coming right up ahead, where we will turn right into the area that we we'll be staying in. But our stay so far in Bulawayo has been nothing short of amazing. I must say people in Bulawayo are very nice. Particularly what I love about this country and this city is also its cleanliness. There is not much crime, for those that live in other parts of Africa as well. But Zimbabwe is quite safe. It's had its own challenges, but it is quite a safe area, and Bulawayo is one of those areas that's really safe. So we're entering into the area where we're going to be, which will be our humble abode, which is where we're going to be sleeping. As I said, Hopeville is the area. These are the new stands. So you could buy yourself a stand. If you are a Zimbabwean, maybe in the diaspora, and you're looking for land, to get in touch with us, and you're looking for areas to buy, let us know. As you know, we are in that space, and we can assist you, even if you are not from Zimbabwe and not from South Africa or not from anywhere in Africa, but you're planning to set up shop in Bulawayo, build a house, of massive proportions. As you can see, the house we are approaching right in front of us, really beautiful architecture and finishes as well. I'm pretty sure on the inside, really, really, really nice. So yeah, we are approaching where we're going to be staying for the couple of nights that we are in Bulawayo. We will be showing you a video of how this place looks like. And yeah, until we see you soon, this is our place. Cheers for now.
Terminal guide. Where do we go?
It's in Gifted.
Okay. I have a feeling I need to turn here so that I go to the parking for the car rentals. Oh, I took myself as a staff now. And there's the Mercedes behind me. So there's the airport to your left. Avis, we're about to bring back the car. This is what I'm saying. We need to put on some cars. I want to know why we went the wrong way. Anyway, let's do it correctly. So we drop off the car at Avis. And we are done.